As already speculated in that Noden's Arc video, the tactic that I showed you to get the bow was more the easy way that Ubisoft did not intend. And I totally think that with a new update, we will not be able to get the bow via this save trick anymore. And maybe you watched that video first and are now wondering why it's not working. Well, luckily the legit way has now been found. So I will go over everything you need to know in this video. A like on the video would of course really help me out. And let's go. First up, a quick reminder that you have a chance to win 2,300 Helix credits here on the channel every week. You can enter the giveaway via the link in the pinned comment, and these giveaways are for subscribers of the channel only. The winner will, by the way, be randomly picked by the system, and I will announce it during the weekly reset video on Tuesday. Okay, so before we begin, a massive shout out to Access the Animus, because they figured this tactic out the legit way, and I will leave a link to their video in the video description. Totally check it out for the detailed explanation. Give them a sub because they figured it out. And actually on January 13th they were already on track to solve this mystery, but it seems like they kind of stopped and were then able to figure this out after the Isu bow was discovered. And Darby, the narrative director on Valhalla, actually responded to my tweet about my Isu bow video, saying that this is not the proper way to get this bow and that there's an in-world way to achieve it. And well, this led to a ton of speculation, and also Access the Animus decided to pick their trail up again, and that was mostly based on Isu languages and other hints found in the physical collector's edition of the game. Like for example, as they show in their video, the art here reveals that the Excalibur is needed to break the stone, and the numbers on the collector's edition book turned out to be coordinates revealing where we had to go to. And that was of course the lake with the rock. And if you are not familiar, that's over here on the map in Yorkshire at this huge lake, and there's a small island there where you will find the rock. And also in the comments under my video, many of you actually noted that the shape of this lake looks a lot like Singapore. And I also got reached out by Jared via the input@JorRaptor.com email address that you can of course also use if you found cool things. So there is a Scandinavian furniture store called Noden in Singapore, and its location on the map matches up perfectly with the location of the bow in the lake. So the name Noden's Ark is likely based on that, also because the Ubisoft Singapore office, as Access the Animus notes, is actually on that exact location. So that should have revealed where the rock was. And as we discussed many times before, Ubisoft Singapore was actually responsible for 1/4 of Valhalla, including the Yorkshire map where we find the bow. But yeah, what is the legit way to break the rock with the Excalibur? Like simply swinging won't work. You have to namely do it during a certain time of day. And we first thought that the hints might be in the Jerusalem file you find on Layla's computer in the secure share folder. Like if you regularly exit the simulation, then you will be able to find the new files on the PC as you complete more content. And one of them has this writing on a stone with the translation below that saying, "This sun shone warmly inside, a burning sight. Now I soothe the wounds in a lake of tears." So you could translate that to sundown, and it mentions a lake as well, and we of course already knew that the bow was from a lake. Although this might be coincidence, because in the Access the Animus video they note that you can also see the time of day thanks to the lithographs in the collector's edition that have you cover the sun to make the word, also implying that it's at sundown. Again, really great work from Access the Animus. A link to their video is in the video description. So yes, this all means that you have to hit the stone with the Excalibur at sundown, and you can easily see the sun when on the island. And actually when it's about to go down, like when it's still visible, you want to just use the sword to hit the rock, because the window is before the sun is completely gone. A tip would be to use the quick save feature just before the sun goes down, so you can always go back to that save and try the tactic again if it did not work the first time. And then after hitting the rock repeatedly with the Excalibur, you will at one point break it, and then you get the bow the legit way, and likely the only way after the next update. It can totally take some time to wait at the island for the sun to go down, and with the tactic I showed you earlier, you can already get it also very early on in the game, before you even have the Excalibur. because getting the Excalibur also requires you to, of course, kill some high-level zealots. And I will leave a link to my Excalibur guide in the video description, or you can watch that video by clicking on the screen. Either way, a really cool secret from Ubisoft, and I actually still think that the Skadi's blade is hidden somewhere in the game too. Like that it's not a future item, but actually already earnable, or maybe it's bugged like Ragnar's dagger. Either way, we had a comment from Widowmakers as saying that there was first a tip about 5 godly weapons, with other people in the comments also remembering that tip. I don't know for sure myself, but of course let me know in the comments down below if you know about this tip as well. And maybe that is referring to Skadi's blade as another hidden weapon in the game, next to the Isu bow, the Mjolnir of course, Gungnir, and the Excalibur. So it could totally be that that weapon suddenly shows up after an update, or that we still have to look for it. So when we know more, I will of course let you know here on the channel, so totally subscribe to stay up to date on everything Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A like on the video would really help me out. And if you want the easy and earlier way to get the bow and see me demonstrate its power as well, then totally click on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of the video, because first we of course look at some awesome pictures that you can send me via the Valhalla Raptor hashtag on Twitter, or via the dedicated pictures channel on my Discord. You can join the Discord via the link in the pinned comment, accept the rules, and then you are able to post. Okay, Joyce, come in, photo mode expert. You have selected 3 pictures from the community, and I'm curious which one you picked.
What's up, everyone? Let's go to picture number 1 with WolfNova12 over on Twitter. Ava made a friend in Jotunheim, and looks like the squirrel is on the lookout for her. What a teamwork. Fight is shot very adorable, and the composition well done with Eivor crouching down like that. Very cute.
Yeah, Eivor's like, hey, what are you looking at, little boy? I think it's a really well done shot. I totally agree.
Next up, Turf over on Discord has decided to let Eivor settle down in a lone house up the mountain top. Especially like the composition here with the mountains in the back, Eivor's shield standing out, and the clouds forming shadows over the area. Really love it.
Yeah, cool how you like created a story around this. I totally get that vibe now as well. Really cool shot.
And finally, seems like Eivor got into some trouble here with a gigantic bull. 4K sugar glaze took this awesome shot. Love how he's trying to protect himself from the animal that's standing majestic over him, ready to take him on. Was this the legendary bull, actually?
Yeah, it actually is. So we killed him multiple times to showcase builds, especially for ranged builds. It's very nice. So yeah, it's totally the legendary animal. Thanks, Joyce, for selecting all these shots. I can't wait to see which one you pick next time. Again, share your shots, and maybe you will be in the next video. Subscribe, of course, for way more Valhalla content. You can watch our previous video about Avenge quests and how you can still do them by clicking on the screen. For now though, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.
Goodbye.